Welcome to Project Iris. I am Drayden.
I'm Raven, and today we are actually talking about how to make people cry. Specifically in the entertainment industry, not just running up and just, punching a dude where it hurts the most, because I'll cry. I personally have 4 points that I think it's something has to hit to make it sad. Be it a book, a movie, just audio books. I don't know. That kind of ties in with
Video games?
Video games. That is something.
There we go.
But anyways, there has to be 4 points personally I think it has to hit in order to be sad. One of the 4. The first is inevitability. If there is no changing it, the person standing there, something's about to hit them, or, somebody's dying of cancer, the inevitability, there is nothing that can be done to change it. It's got it. It's sad.
It's happening.
It's happening.
It's happening
one way or the other. The second, though, is fear. If the person that it is happening to is fearful, humans generally have what they call a mirror effect. When you see something happen, you normally reflect that back. So, we're walking past each other, I smile at you. Typically, you're going to smile back and not punch me in the gut.
Usually,
you've done it.
Yeah.
So when we see fear in a movie, we typically will reflect that back. Going on to the third part is sacrifice. If somebody, good or bad, has to make a deep sacrifice, not just, here's $1, problem solved, but an actual sacrifice, that gets a little gut-wrenching if you've developed some sort of connection to the person who's sacrificing. So we got inevitability, fear, sacrifice. Yep. What is our last one?
Last one, I believe, is failure.
Failure. When they try, it's Simon Birch. Did you ever watch that? The dwarf?
No.
No. He's got dwarfism. He's
Sure.
made fun of. He's just kind of, always happy, but nobody's ever really rooting for him. And you want him to do good, and then something happens. He gets to play baseball. Or Rudy is another good example. He gets to play football. Same story. He's short, plays football. Rudy, it's sad because he tried and he failed. Yeah. Wasn't inevitable. He had the heart. He had the talent. He thought. Rudy. But we were talking about this. I don't remember when, the other day. Music makes a score for a movie. Everybody's familiar with Guardians of the Galaxy.
Sure.
Fantastic soundtrack for the first one. I'm not talking about the second one. So
I like the second one.
There's Gravity that had a great soundtrack, stuff like that. But sound makes a movie. Star Wars had a fantastic soundtrack. So same thing works in sad movies. There's actually a cool trick they do from time to time. It's they basically use the opposite kind of sound as to what's happening on the scene. So when you have a sad scene playing out in front of you, and it's a poppy song, very very happy-go-lucky.
Katy Perry.
It would make the entire scene sadder to just exponentially show you how far apart it is from happiness. But the cool one is the absence of sound. That's the one that makes people uncomfortable. You were talking about that.
Yeah, I'm a huge Buffy the Vampire Slayer nut. Just sue me, right? But one of the best episodes, and I can't now that we're here, I can't for the life of me think of the episode number. But it's the one where you, spoilers, find out that Buffy's mom dies. Right, she's got an aneurysm in her brain, it bursts, and it kills her. And the entire episode is done with absolutely no score, no music. And so all of the sound is amplified. And you hear her, you can almost hear her heartbeat. She's frantic, she runs over to her mom, she tries to resuscitate her, and you hear her crack her ribs because of her strength and everything. And you really feel uncomfortable. And music in movies and things like that is a way of directing you on how to feel. If the scary da-na comes on, then you know a shark's coming, right? Yeah, and so you get scared. It tells you how to feel before you feel that emotion. And with the complete absence of music, you don't know how to feel except what you're seeing visually, and it makes you, as a viewer, very uncomfortable.
It makes me uncomfortable. Awkward silences, but with a movie in front of you. Like that. So the other thing that we mentioned, other than music, was animals. Animals make any movie sadder, especially when the movie's all about animals.
Yeah, like Homeward Bound.
Homeward Bound, Lion King, Bambi.
Cry like a baby.
All Dogs Go to Heaven, Oliver and Company. It's not all animals, but you know what I'm going with here. I Am Legend. I Am Legend.
Yeah,
With the dog. One of the big things in sad movies is you have to feel a connection. If the movie's 5 seconds in and somebody gets shot in the head, you don't know if they're good, if they're bad, the reason behind it.
You don't care.
You don't have a reason to care, and you're more curious as to why it happened instead of feeling an emotion because it happened. Movies like I Am Legend, you only have 2 characters for the majority of the movie, and they show that connection, that relationship, the necessity for each other, and when it inevitably comes around that one of them has to die, there's that moment, that sadness, and it makes it all the more sad because it's an animal, an innocent animal who can't communicate, but you know what's going through their head.
But you got to think this too, is they had the trifecta of the sad animal death, because it was an animal you loved, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was inevitable that something was going to happen, considering they're the only 2 people there.
Right.
But it was also a sacrifice to save Will Smith's character.
Right.
And so
Legendy. John Legend.
Yeah. So by inevitably sacrificing himself to save John Legend, the dog burrowed its way into our hearts and lives and ultimately crushed our souls.
Yes. We wept tears.
Yeah.
Giant, massive, weeping tears.
Masculine tears.
Yes, manliest tears.
Yeah.
Mirrors.
So another thing that tears at your heartstrings is when a hero finishes its journey with goals unfinished.
Be that through death or dismemberment, if they're maimed, if they're confined to a wheelchair and they're trying to be an Olympic sprinter. They don't have to die necessarily, but having a goal that you want to achieve that you can never achieve, part of the inevitability is inevitably you're not going to be able to finish that goal.
So, what is your favorite part of a book, movie, TV show, what have you, that really tears at your heartstrings? The saddest moment you could possibly think of. Mine, personally, the Mickey Mouse A Christmas Story, where he's cutting the turkey in those little bitty paper-thin slices. It's terrible. It kills me.
Tiny Tim gets the little...
it's so bad.
Anyways, leave your comments below. Obviously, for the people that are going to read the comments, there are spoilers. Like, subscribe, hit us up on Patreon, and do all that cool jazz. You know how to do it. You've done it before. Thank you for watching. There's a gnat. That would be awful. So, wait for... because we're going to have to cut that out. There was a gnat right in my face. I was trying not to, just touch my face the whole time.